my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the COP27 Resilience Hub. Welcome to everyone. I think that deserves a round of applause.
So I was like, okay, well, this is how we can achieve these 17 sustainable development goals, right? Like everyone having food and everyone having access to water. I was like, well, I can use music, you know, as a vehicle to power that change. So I made one song for each goal.
And it's really to break the voices of people from the grassroots, from the front lines, to tell their stories, not stories of misery and vulnerability, but stories of tackling misery and vulnerability in a joyous manner.
There is also, at the community level, it is very, very critical and very, very important to tap into local knowledge to really be able to achieve what we want to achieve on the ground.
We are here with our hearts, and we hope that culture, heritage, arts will be much more present in the climate change discourse in the future.
So the movement of Slum Dwellers International began to give a face, a voice, an identity to all of us who live informally, with a view that we have an opinion, we have survived despite everybody and the indifference of the state, but we are your citizens, we demand your attention, and we want to solve the problems of our city with you.
Kiribati, you know, the Marshall Islands, the Maldives, these are all places with less than a meter of sea rise, and they are being devastated right now. So we need to ask them first and foremost, what are the responses that they would like to take? And in nearly all those cases, I can tell you, they don't want to be given they don't want to be told what to do, that they have to move or migrate or something else. It's a much more complex set of choices. And so I think we should prioritize and ask them and be people-led first and foremost.
An estimated 10% of funds for adaptation actually gets down to the local level, and that is close to a tragedy. We need to make sure that the money gets out there.
This performance here we were doing, me and my son, sings about our home. Now our home is a coral atoll island. It's in the shape of a teardrop. And it sits in a part where it's really dark blue, the water.
How are we preparing for what is inevitable in terms of huge shocks? How are we thinking about preparing financing? How are we thinking about the investments that we're making in terms of resilience? And oftentimes there isn't, I think naturally people don't want to think about these unfortunate situations, right? When we think about COVID, it's something that we knew the industry was talking about it for a while, but people didn't really think it could happen, right? And look at what has occurred. It's the same thing with climate change.
Climate action boils down to money, and there just is not enough of it flowing to the global south, flowing to where it's needed most.
We have no water resources. Our islands are eroding. Our islands are getting flooded. Coastal inundation has become an everyday reality as well.
So you have to study them. They study we. And then we overstand and say, they talk like this. So because they talk like this, when we speak in our native tongue, they say, oh, we don't understand. So then why is it that then when we speak like this, you still don't seem to grasp what we've said for decades, for centuries, that you shouldn't build in all these places that you're building on shorelines, into our marsh, into our ocean.
It's not about silver bullet solutions, like once we get enough green hydrogen, we can make green steel. It's about the sparks of ideas which inspire people to find their own unique solutions in their own context.
We can only do so much as island states. We preserve our oceans. We protect our forests. We're doing everything we can to reduce our carbon emissions. But we can only do so much. We need to do it together.
I'm here now wondering about what is this going to cost me when I get home. I'm hoping I lose no lives. I know we'll have damage, flooding and wind damage. But what is that going to cost me? Infrastructural damage. And I have to go looking for resources to recover. And why? Because of the act of others that produces the catastrophe that we in our small island states suffer.
We will raise our voices in every available space until we have gotten climate justice, because this is the time that climate justice is direly needed, because it's a life or death situation for the most affected people and regions.
Nyalema, agoke mujoje, nyalema, atamule ekoloji, nyalema, agoke mujoje. Nyalema, atamu for me.